Liverpool remain interested in Moise Caicedo, meaning that they are chasing for him until the summer transfer window. Then Mason Mount has gone ahead to really lead one of those players or those lists that the manager of Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, is really looking at. And Graham Potter has gone ahead and really shunned Leicester City. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? It's lunchtime. Hope you've had something to eat because, lunch is always something important for our body as far as our health standards are really concerned. Smash the like button, comment and share. Rokan David, he is my name, and welcome to the transfer news show as we talk Caicedo, Mason Mount, Jude Bellingham, and Graham Potter, who was sacked over the weekend. And it was a Sunday that saw two managers leave. That is Brandon Rodgers and Graham Potter. And interestingly, one that was sacked at Chelsea was being looked at as a replacement to come in through and save the season of Leicester City, where Brandon Rodgers was unsacked. So let's really have a little bit of a discussion onto those different stories. But don't forget to smash the like button close to 100 times. And guys, if at all you're watching us for the very first time and you want to subscribe, guys, continue to subscribe. Now, as it stands, Moise Caicedo looks like is going to be the most wanted central defense midfielder in the Premier League because of his qualities and him having proven at Brighton that he is really one of those players that is just ready to play into the top 6 positions of the league, lifting Brighton to be amongst the top 7 teams of the league. And Brighton might find themselves playing in Europe next season because of Moise Caicedo and the work he's doing at the base of the midfield at Leicester City, at Brighton. Today, we have a story coming in from John Passy. He's a Midlands football reporter for the Daily Telegraph and Sunday Telegraph. Has told us that Brighton midfielder Moise Caicedo remains of interest to Liverpool. What does it mean? The race is heating up. And if I told you of Brighton, this is what you would always want. Arsenal wants Moise Caicedo. Chelsea is interested in Moise Caicedo. Liverpool is here. Eric Ten Hag is one of those that are really obsessed with Moise Caicedo, and very many other teams are really interested in Moise Caicedo. So, for you, if I told you are Mr. Loom, the owner of Brighton, you just go out there and say, all right, I gave Caicedo a new contract, it's long enough, and for anyone to take Moise Caicedo, he should cost close to £80 million. Remember, in the January transfer window, Arsenal made a bid of £70 million. It was turned down by Brighton, meaning that around £80 million, you can go ahead and really convince Brighton to get Moise Caicedo. And we know Brighton is really a club that sells expensively. They sold this guy, the left back, Chukwueze, to Chelsea at £65 million. You know that very well. And Trossard, I think they sold him cheaply because he had fallen out with the manager. But if at all they wanted to keep him, they would have even called in for more than even 40 or 50 million pounds. But they're now having Moise Caicedo, a player that is most valued at the side of Brighton because he's being eyed by every top team in the league. But you ask yourself, where does Caicedo want to go? Because it will depend on his agent and where Caicedo wants to go. But for Liverpool, if they get Moise Caicedo, it will be a very beautiful signing because they need to reinforce that midfield, especially the central defensive midfield. Fabinho looks like he's running out and he needs some good rest to find himself back to the levels he's supposed to be on. Because let's not even argue that for the previous 3-4 seasons, Fabinho has been one of the best CDMs in the league, alongside Rodri, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, and very many others. But this season, he's really abysmal. You just don't want to see him play into that Liverpool midfield. And he really looks weak. He's losing possession. He arrives late in for tackles, hence getting yellow cards. So I don't see him as a player that is really up there to put Liverpool to their next move. Now, from Moise Caicedo, Liverpool are also interested in another player, English in nature, known as Mason Mount. Mason Mount looks like he doesn't want to stay at Chelsea, and Neil Jones, a Liverpool correspondent for the Goal, has told us that sources have told Goal that Liverpool have already held productive talks over a possible move for Mason Mount, and they would be willing and able to meet the player's salary demand. So Liverpool looks like they've gone ahead to agree everything with Mason Mount, and they want to really sign him at Liverpool. And it's like blustering the midfield. It looks like the man is in need of a 3 new midfield. And talking of the 3 new midfield, we've talked about Caicedo, Mason Mount, and guess what? Again, we've been told by Neil Jones that in an ideal world, Jurgen Klopp would have to team Mason Mount with Jude Bellingham, his England colleague, in a new look midfield at Anfield next season. So if at all he wants to get in Caicedo, Jude Bellingham, and Mason Mount as the new midfield 3 of Liverpool, it really looks good. It really looks good, and I think with the coaching qualities of the manager of Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, you don't rule it out being one of the most strongest midfields in the league. But does he have the money to really get these players together? Because Jude Bellingham, 120 million pounds, Caicedo, 80 million pounds, that's 200 million pounds, and Mason Mount close to 40 or 50 million pounds. That's what Chelsea will call in for. So it all remains into the FSG pocket, the owners of Liverpool, whether they can finance the summer that Jurgen Klopp needs to find themselves in a position of really getting back to winning ways, and obviously reviving the glory of Liverpool that they've been holding ever since Jurgen Klopp came in here in 2015. So if they go in for those 3 midfielders, then Liverpool would have gone ahead to have a very big change. But for me, if I'm Jurgen Klopp, the first player I get in should be a CDM. Even if it's not Caicedo, they can get in a Declan Rice, they can get in Sofian Amrabat, there is Zubimendi. There are very many CDMs right now available on market, and I think the most important position for Liverpool to first really settle is the CDM position. That is according to me. So I want to see your thoughts in the comment section below about Moise Caicedo to Liverpool and a player known as Jude Bellingham plus Mason Mount. Now, a manager was sacked on Sunday, and a team that sacked its manager on Sunday also, we are looking in for him. And what's that team? Leicester City. They sacked Brendan Rodgers, and they had made their proposal to Graham Potter. But we've been informed by Matt Hughes, chief reporter for the Daily Mail, that Graham Potter is set to receive around £13 million of compensation after being sacked by Chelsea. That's it. That's the compensation that he's going to get as a manager of Chelsea. I had someone telling me that it was about £60 million. That's it. But it's now £13 million that he's going to receive as a manager, and I think that is great. But the story I wanted us to talk about was reported by TalkSport that Graham Potter has rejected an approach from Leicester City. He's set to take a break after leaving Chelsea. And guys, why don't you take a break amidst everything that happened at Chelsea? But he's walking out with £13 million. £13 million. Even if he's to spend like £2 million during his holiday, I think that will be okay for him. And he has been earning a very huge salary at Chelsea. So I think he needs to find himself in a position of really resting. And right now, why should you go in and commit to a team that is almost into its relegation zone? You get? It's 19th, I think. 19th or 20th even. So I think, if at all, in my own understanding, I insinuate that Graham Potter would love to get back into the managerial job after the season is done. Then very many Premier League teams, if at all they survive, they can really find themselves really getting new managers. Spurs don't have a new manager, they're looking for a new manager, so Potter might be available, and I think he has put himself in a better position to come out and compete, because he will argue out anyone that I never had a preseason, they bought in new players, and I think he is one of those managers going ahead to be having the most number of new players in his career, because in January only, Chelsea brought in Madueke, Modric, Badishil, Fafana, Enzo Fernandez, João Felix. Close to 7 players is what Chelsea brought in during the January transfer window. So you will feel a little bit for him, and I think the summer will be so early for him to really rekindle his managerial career. So guys, your thoughts on to Caicedo to Liverpool are welcome in the comment section below. Then what do you think about Jude Bellingham and Mason Mount also adding themselves to Liverpool? Do you think Liverpool has the financial muscle to stretch and sign these 3 players? I'm waiting for your thoughts. And lastly, Graham Potter. Would you advise him to stay off and take a break, or to really take over the job of Leicester City? So guys, I sign out for now. See you later. First video of the day. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly, and I really cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim friends, Ramadan Kareem. That has been the Transfer News Show, first video of the day. That means more are yet to come. I'm